we'll get going now. All right, what's your name?
My name is Brett.
All right, and why don't you tell me like how old you are and where you're from?
Oh, I am 39, going on 40 in a couple months. Most of my childhood grew up in Cherry Hill, over the bridge in New Jersey, but lived most of my adult life in Roxborough. 15 plus years. I've been out here in the Kensington, Port Richmond area for a little over 3 years now, on the streets, and
So we're gonna have a lot of the same friends, I think. I other than Roxborough, got high there for years.
Okay.
So we'll probably just know the same people. I'll talk to you after.
It's very.
I already know we're gonna have. All right. So, how long have you been homeless in Philly?
It has been just over 3 years. Between 3.5 years.
All right, and so that's since you've had a stable housing.
Yeah. The last place I was in, I rented a room over in Frankfurt for a little while. Prior to that, I had stable living. When I lost the room, I was in my car for a couple months and then lost that, and
Just keeps spiraling out of control.
Yeah, it's just it's a downhill downhill trek.
How long have you been getting high for?
Oh, jeez. On
let's say
opiates?
with the opiates, yeah, because that's where I'm gonna head.
Yeah,
the real stuff.
I caught a habit on pills when I was 28. So it's been 11 years.
Okay.
Didn't take me long to switch over to dope.
That's what did you start on a pill habit then, and then just couldn't afford it?
Yeah,
it's one of those things.
The typical story that the majority of people go through.
It's like, that's how I got on opiates. I broke my leg. They gave me oxys, and I did opiates for 20 years straight after that.
Yeah. You don't realize, even if you intellectually understand withdrawal and dependence and all that, you don't really know what you're getting into until that first day you wake up and you're like, what the hell is this is a problem.
I'll tell you what, so I was buying a house in Pittsburgh, and I was on like a 4 oxy 80 a day habit at the time, a lot, maybe 5, and I went out to Pittsburgh and I got stuck in a snowstorm, and I had a rear-wheel drive BMW at the time. I was not getting out of Pittsburgh, and I didn't realize how bad the sickness was going to be, like you said. And holy shit, was that a life-changing experience that first time you feel that.
Oh, and you weren't anywhere
I was
near
300 miles away from my dealer.
Oh, boy.
And luckily, one of the guys I knew a girl on Backpage. He called her up, and then they usually can get the shit. So.
Oh yeah, you get resourceful when that happens. Yeah. I went out to LA a couple summers ago with the girl I was with at the time. Thought I could make it through a week with a couple Suboxone, and that did not last well. I ended up walking an hour to Venice Beach to cop black tar just to get through the week.
Yeah, well, that's funny you said that.
You find it if you need it.
It's funny you said that, because I was in Pittsburgh, and that was the only time I did black tar. Was there that time. Huh. So anyway, yeah, it's So 28, you started your opiate addiction.
Yep.
And
39.
You're 39 now. So all right, about good 11 years into it. When did you notice the switch to fentanyl?
2017.
Okay, that's right when I got
2017 is when it exploded, and everybody just started dropping. I lost my best friend. I think anybody out here that summer, anywhere from summer to December, lost somebody.
Yeah.
At that time, it was horrific.
I remember seeing that. There were some news stories on it and stuff.
Yeah, it was record-breaking overdose.
Because I was going on a year clean. I was just going on a year clean when that happened. I'm like, holy shit, did I get out at the right time?
Oh, yeah.
Now, withdrawal with fentanyl, is it a lot worse? What's your take on it?
Some aspects are worse, and some aspects, honestly, are not as bad. Overall, I think it's worse. It's the throwing up and the GI issues are just awful.
Yeah.
The restlessness isn't as bad as you know,
The
real
regulars.
heroin.
Okay.
But I mean, it's a trade-off. It's none of it's a walk in the park.
It still sucks.
You know what I mean? It's just it's awful all around.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done it a couple times, all different ways. I've done cold turkey. I've done the Vivitrol shot. Took the Vivitrol shot the same day I got high, which was
that wasn't fun. Huh?
oh man, there, you know, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just it's tough.
Yeah.
You know.
When did you start noticing the Xylazine getting cut into the drugs?
It's been a couple years. I mean, honestly, probably around the same time as the fentanyl. Or maybe shortly after. But it was honestly, I think it was around the same time.
Now, did you?
I just think people didn't really.
That's what I was
realize it until
so they kind of just snuck it in there a little bit. And
I mean, we unknowingly became dependent on a whole nother substance.
Yeah, and there's no really withdrawal medicine for that yet. It's so new to humans. I heard there's a
the FDA wouldn't approve it for human consumption, and that tells you something right there. Because 100%. All the poison that they will approve, if they say you shouldn't put it in your body, you know what. Come on.
Yeah.
Let me blow this real quick.
Like I'm doing research on the Xylazine, and it started in rural Puerto Rico in the 90s. They started cutting it into their regular heroin. This before the fentanyl stuff like that, and it seems like it's so out of control down here now.
It's gotten worse in the 10 whatever years I've been, you know, coming down here. It's noticeably, you know, like significantly worse. Yeah.
So where do you sleep at night?
I have a tent. You know, I've moved around a bit. You know, I've been in the woods. I've been under the bridge. I've been, you know, so. But I you know,
I do have a tent. So
I got a tent, and you know, so I got my own little space. And, you know, it ain't much smaller than the room I rented for $400 a month.
Yeah, I hear you. Look, I'm 7 years sober. I'm still renting a room right now. You know, it's expensive out there.
No shame in it.
Yeah. How many times have you tried rehab?
Like actually rehab
like
treatment?
Went to go
once.
Okay.
I went through one full 28-day program. My family had tried to force me in another time when I wasn't ready, and I, you know, 2 days in, they actually sent me to the hospital for something, and I told them, I said, do not send me. I said, because I know myself, I said, I will not come back. Right. I will AMA, I will leave. Yeah. They wouldn't listen. They sent me to the hospital. What did I do? I AMA'd. I walked 6 miles to the bus. I took the bus to Philly and said, I'm back.
Yeah. It's crazy how many people have went to, you know, rehab with good intentions, and then, you know, they do exactly what you did. AMA, take the first thing smoking down to Kensington.
Yep.
Do you have any are you content right now with getting high, or are you looking to get off the streets? Like, where's your head at?
That's a funny question, or well, funny that you asked that question, because I was just talking about this with a friend of mine recently. Up until about 6 months ago or so, I had been relatively content, you know, enough so that I wasn't really, you know, I didn't really have any plans of, you know, any real exit strategy.
You just kind of just going with the flow then.
The last 6 months or so, it's really been wearing on me, and I've been, you know, I've just been kind of feeling it, that it's getting to that point, and I've been, you know, talking more and more about it. I've never been on methadone before. I was always afraid to be on it long term, and I've come to the realization it's that or this, and you know what I mean? Wow, well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And you know, whether I'm on it long term or I do a taper or a program or whatever, you know, I made an appointment 2 weeks ago. I missed it. You
But
know,
you're-
so
but
I'm like baby stepping
You're
my
still
way.
you're still
you know,
exploring it though.
Yeah.
It's still in your mind. You're still
but I'm
at least making appointments.
I'm slowly kind of taking the steps, but I'm damn near there, to be honest.
People don't realize how long it can take sometimes from when the addict says, "Okay, I'm ready to go to rehab," and then to when they actually go to the rehab. That it could be a day, it could be 3 months.
I see a lot of people around me saying they're going or trying to go, or you know, they're bullshitting themselves and everybody around them, or they want to believe that they're ready and they try and whatever, and they ping pong back and forth, and I don't have that in me. I don't have the energy for that. You know what I mean? So I've never said, oh, I'm going, I'm doing this, I'm getting out of here. Like when I do it, I'm doing it, and that's it. And I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to myself or anybody else. I haven't been ready, and I'm a lot closer to ready than I ever have been.
But that's important because, like you said earlier, the last time you went when you weren't ready, if you're not ready to go, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and I knew that going in.
You already knew that.
I literally knew it going in, but it was kind of like at that point, I wasn't home. I had never been homeless, and it was kind of like an ultimatum. It was, you know what I mean? It was like you're going to treatment, or
family
you're getting kicked out, and you're gonna, and it was getting close to winter, and I was like, I can't be homeless in Philly in the winter. I'll never survive, you know. And fast forward, this would be my 4th winter. This upcoming winter would be my 4th winter out here, and that's, I think, a big part of the motivation. That's just like, really, my 4th.
Yeah, that starts to add up, the years.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 40 years old, like, grow the fuck up. Yeah.
Well, no, speak freely. It's the people I talk to. I talk to a lot of the more girls down here because they're just a lot easier to pick up, you know what I mean? They're already looking for dates, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like talking to you could tell your head is still all the way up there. You're still sharp with your head. You know what I mean? You're not slurring your words. You know what I mean? So you're not one of them maybe too far gone people.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
I've always tried to be as safe and responsible as I can be while doing something that is horribly, irresponsible and dangerous. If that makes sense.
Well, as an addict, it makes all the sense in the world. So you are open to treatment right now. Or thinking about it. Is that, you think it's just because it's the winter time, or you're ready?
No, I mean, I've honestly made it through the winters, just fine. I've lived in Vermont and Alaska, so the cold isn't really the issue. I think, like I said, the last 6 months or so, it's just been a lot of bullshit. The people and the drugs, and it's old, and the money's not as easy as it used to be to come by, and it's just everything kind of piling up on itself, and it's not that it was ever worth it, but it's really just
Yeah.
It got old a long time ago, and I'm just kind of catching up to that, I guess. I don't know.
So how long a day do you panhandle, would you say? I see you over here a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I pass by you a bunch of times.
It's real. I know it's not a satisfying answer, but there really is no.
So you just until you get enough for a bag or whatever.
I mean, yeah, like I try, or I used to do. I would come do like a morning, afternoon, and a night shift. Maybe 2 hours each.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Average.
Right. And
there are times where I'll spend an hour out here, and or whatever, something will happen, and I'll be okay for the day. I don't have to. I've been out here days where I put 12 hours in the freaking thing and made $3, and had to go to bed sick, and it's like, what? it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? I could sit down and somebody will bless me with a $50 bill in 2 minutes, or I could sit there for 12 hours and not make a goddamn thing.
Yeah, it's part more the madness of addiction.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just, I mean, I guess it's to be expected. It's all, you know, just hit or miss, random luck of the draw.
Yeah.
Who's you know.
And you usually make enough there to keep you well throughout the day?
I mean, I've been surviving, yeah. Right. It's gotten worse lately, like ever since the summer, and like I said, I guess that's a big part of it too, probably. Like I said, the last 6 months, it's just been a lot of struggle, and part of that has been not making as much money, and I don't think there's really any reason or, you know, cause behind it, but in general, yeah, I mean, I make enough to stay well. My habit is really not that bad right now, you know what I mean? Like I can get by on very little, you know, a day, like
that's
10 to $20, you know,
that's good, man.
A day if I need to.
Because
you know
I heard the withdrawal of fentanyl kicks in a lot faster than regular heroin.
Oh yeah, a lot faster.
So for you to be able to space out 1 or 2 bags throughout the day, that's clutch.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I'm not going to be comfortable.
That's an emergency.
But you know, I mean, I'm not going to be comfortable, but I'm not going to be, you know, dying sick either. You know.
Yeah. So that, like, that's all you normally do is just the panhandling, or do you do scrap and stuff like that too? Or
no, really just panhandling. And I got a couple people from out of town that come, you know, and ask me to get them stuff.
Go
you
cop
know,
for them?
Yeah, they're afraid of cops.
They're afraid of North Philly?
Whatever, yeah, basically, or don't know their way around or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
So you get that a lot? Or enough?
Yeah.
So what, they'll just stop and ask you right here?
Yeah,
when they're getting off,
I mean, I'm the first person they see when they get off the highway. You know what I mean? And all they really know is, you know, get off 95 and go to Kensington.
Yeah.
So they see me, they say, hey, the homeless guy probably does dope. Let me ask him.
Wow. And then you probably get a couple off them from doing it then, right?
Yeah. I mean, some people, you know, some people try and offer you a couple cigarettes or, you know, and but you know, some people look out really heavy. It's like, I mean, some people have blown my mind. They'll come down, you know, I spend 5 minutes going grab them something, and they give me, you know, $60, $70. I'm like, whoa, holy shit.
Yeah, that's good. One other quick question about, like, let's say you want to go get help, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have positive support out in the world that you can, like, utilize when you're sober, like family, friends, or is that something you have to start all over again with?
Short answer, no. I do not have that.
Okay. It's something you could work on getting back?
One of my 3 brothers talks to me and is actually very understanding and helpful, so I guess I shouldn't discount him. He's made an effort to kind of like reach out, and he doesn't know exactly where I'm at with everything right now, you know what I mean? I can imagine he probably assumes that I'm not doing great. You know, I've been trying to meet up with him for lunch one of these days, you know, and it hasn't worked out yet. He's over in Jersey, but other than that, you know, I mean, I stay in touch with my father, but no real family or friend support system or anything of that nature.
So that's something you have to work on, and if you know, when you get clean. I didn't really either. My parents can't even begin to think about that. No, that's way in the future. Yeah. I just say that's a lot of people, you know. I went up to Bucks County, Levittown, when I went to, you'll know exactly, when I was at Fairmount. I did the psych ward, rehab, and then they sent me to Bucks County, and it made good sense. I've been to Fairmount probably like 35 times.
Wow. I used to send people to Fairmount.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to put people in treatment. That was part of my job. I worked in crisis centers in Philly.
Oh, wow.
You know, and psych hospitals.
So were you that before the addiction started?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a master's degree in psychology. I worked in crisis. I worked in clinical research. I did it the opposite. I had my life together and then burned it all down. Most people kind of start out getting high when they're young and then like get their shit together later. I did it the opposite way. So
it's just funny, like, because addiction doesn't discriminate.
Absolutely.
And
not.
you don't know when it's gonna smack you upside your head if you're not, got your guard up. It's a
I know.
sick thing. All right, I really appreciate the conversation. Is it all right if I stop, a month or so if you're still there, check back up on you, have another conversation with you?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks again for everything. I will be seeing you soon.